Hello everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we added the goal tracker controller and added a message to the console, and from the browser we could go to localhost 8080 and see that this message was printed. So as discussed in the previous video, let's first of all update or commit this to version control. And right now see that we have changed pom.xml and the controller. So if you go git diff, you can also see what changes you've made. So in pom.xml, we've, just for spacing, so this is the main change we made. We added a Spring Boot Starter web, and yeah, that's the change in pom.xml. It's not showing the change in controller though. Let's add it. Now we have git diff. So now changes are showing. Anyway, maybe this is because this is a new file, that's why the changes are not showing. And the reason I use git is because you can see one you can see those changes. Diff, you can also see the logs. Right now we have only one. If we make a commit message add goal tracker controller, so git log, now we have two commits. Okay, add goal tracker controller. So you might have the question, what is git? So not github, just git. Okay, so you can go to this link and read the documentation. They have very nice videos and descriptions about what git is, how to use it, and you'll have to download git for this. You can read all about this here. We're not going to go in details because git is not our main focus. That's just to keep track of the code as it changes, and it may not seem necessary at this moment, but as your code grows, it's important to keep track of the changes. That's why I prefer git. Next thing is, last time we added these dependencies, and one is Spring Boot Starter parent. So why we are not using any version in these is because this parent already has a defined version 2.1.0, and what it does is whenever we add a new dependency, Maven will automatically use which of the version for these dependencies is compatible with this version, and it downloads that version, so that we do not have to do that manually. Otherwise there may be conflicts that the parent or one dependency is not compatible with the other. So we let Maven do all those things. And we might also wonder what is inside this Spring Boot starter. So Spring Boot starters, and then this nice article on Spring Boot starters. You can read this. So we have different types of starters. For web starter, we added web starter, for test as well, and for data JPA, a lot of starters. For mail, So according to need we can add, and starters will find all the dependencies inside. So what's inside Spring Boot Starter with? Okay, it's taking some time. And then you can just go to this first link over here, the docs from Spring, and here you can see something called MVN dependency tree. So let's run that. Here this MVN dependency tree. Scan for projects. If you're running this for first time, it might download some content, and then you have this tree over here. So we've added Spring Boot Starter, and inside this it has automatically pulled all of this. So inside that we have Spring Boot jar, inside of which there is Spring context jar and auto configure, logging, log4j, sl4j, everything. Next we add a Spring Boot Starter test auto configure. Everything is added as a transitive dependency for JUnit as well. And in the last video we added Spring Boot Starter Web, which has Spring Boot Starter Tomcat and Hibernate Validator, Spring Web MVC, and all that stuff. So this is a nice little tree that you can see where these jars have been coming from. Of course you can do that if you are interested. So that's all about uh, the Spring Boot starters. Now in this video what I would like to do is, last time we printed a message in this console. Now instead of doing that, what I would like to do is, in the web page itself I would like to display this message. So to do that we need to return this string itself. Okay, but it will give an error because why? Change method return type to string, and this is currently void. So we change that to string, and now it's running, or the error is gone. Sorry. So now we run this Spring Boot app, and okay, we have an error. Tomcat connection configured, listening on port 8080 failed to start. So we already have an application running 8080. We'll stop the currently running application and we will try to rerun it. This was the kind of errors I was talking about earlier video. So now it's running successfully. We now go to localhost 8080. We see gold started has been printed in the browser itself rather than in the console as in last time. So we have successfully printed the message, and that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.